Hi, good morning.
Good
Morning.
morning.
So, what is it about Blue's Clues that has given it the staying power that it has for the last 25 years, which crazy makes me feel old because
I know.
I
It
remember my
makes
kids
you feel
watching this with
old.
I
me.
know.
How about us?
We were 12, I think. That's really what it is.
I know.
Um,
How did they even let you make a show at that
I
age? That's
know. It
crazy.
was like, we were in our backyard. I feel like honestly, the stars aligned with this show. Like every single person that worked on it loves it so much and continues to love it. And we do our homework, we do tons of research with kids. We know what kids are excited about. We don't take anything for granted. We're constantly trying to raise the bar with regard to how kids are interacting and how they're learning and playing and laughing.
Yeah, and I think it's just that connection that was made of breaking that fourth wall of continuing Mr. Rogers' legacy, which Angela is so inspired by, of just connecting and looking in the camera and saying, you matter. And that really makes an impact as kids. And we all remember those shows that we grew up with kids. So especially in this crazy topsy-turvy time, just that those childhood comfy feelings are just feel so good. And how you can see how Steve reached out and like, boom, everyone's like, Steve.
Well, because we listen, right? I think that's what, we like to say. It's like we don't just necessarily have kids talking to the screen. We're listening and we care and we think they're so important and smart. I also think it's Blue's bark that has helped us last. Tracy's always.
No, I think we do know, we know how to connect with kids, and I think we're kids at heart. So we just touch that, yeah.
So, I know you're not supposed to pick favorite children. It's like a thing they tell you can't do. But do you have a favorite host from over the years?
Oh, you can't do that.
Well,
we love Steve the Steviest, Donovan the Donovanist, and Joshy the Joshist.
Well,
They all have
or which one, like what characteristics of each one do you love the most, right? Like I'm sure we love them all equally for different reasons.
Right.
We were just talking about this with them. They all approach the show with the same respect, the same love for kids and understanding what the mission is, but they have a different way that they do it, right? Which I think we love the most in terms of being these warm, huggable,
guys you just want to hang out with, babysitters.
Yeah, and I think that
camp counselors,
right? Feeling, I think that there's just a little bit of a difference between the way they approach it, and I think we think it all works, and we love them. We love them all
equally. You can never say.
Over the years, obviously there have been myriad episodes, and not to pick favorites, but is there an episode?
You're all about the favorites.
But I feel like certain things must stick with you, right? So is there an episode that you've done over the years that really just stuck with either of you in terms of like the content or just, the way the host approached it or the writing of it, whatever?
You go first.
Oh, I would say it was the first episode for each of them, like in some ways that sticks. So like Snack Time was so simple, but it hit all of what we were trying to say, of how the show was different and what we did. And when we met Joe, right, that level of playfulness that he has and his ability to play with the camera and the kids in a different way that made them fall in love with him like that very first time. And then Josh just like dancing in and just taking over, and like just his presence like was just beautiful in his first episode, and then just continues to
I would say that's absolutely true. And then if I had to think of a specific one that really gets to the heart is when Steve goes to college. That episode was, all the research that went into it and the love and, how do we do this? And then their performances of both Joe and Steve was great.
Oh, yeah, we had to throw away the first script because cried all the way through it. So then we needed to turn it around and think about it from Blue's perspective. And that's all we want is for kids to say, we want to go to college like Steve, like we love that. So yeah, it's like turning something around, right? There was a little bit of a disappointment and then it all comes back. They're all working with us now. And it's like such a family.
But I have to say too, though, all of our recent episodes with Josh that we've been doing, just when you think we've done them all, like
so true.
It's opening this whole door and just this new world of really pushing the envelope of, the thinking chair becoming a rocket and going into the Blueniverse. And like, it's just, woo, too.
And then
just
important topics of
exploding.
thinking about things, you know, when you have a choice, right? When you're, you know, in elections and just things like that, that we're really trying to plant the seeds for kids at this age.
And internet of, you know, researching, doing your research and not just believing what you hear. We're getting into episodes like that. So
yeah, really proud.
Yeah, very proud.
Obviously, the music is an important part of connecting the kids to the show. Can you talk a little bit about the music and, you know, the creation? I know you talked a little bit earlier with somebody else about the composer, but just a little bit about how that process works. And, you know, is there a formula in terms of like how much music or how little music you put in each episode?
You know, we definitely, the show itself has a formula to it, but we like to break that mold all the time so that we don't fall into it, you know, that you're kind of sleeping through whatever. We really want to mix it up all the time. But we know at this age group, right, you like to have a song in your head as you're transitioning from one thing to the next. And, you know, even the idea of We Are Looking for Blues Clues that runs throughout is to remind them of the bigger mission of the day, right, which is the higher order cognitive skill that we want them to do, right? It's like we had a question, Blue is leaving clues, and we want to think about what that answer is going to be for the end. So we use music as a tool in that way. Plus, it's so much fun to watch them sing and dance.
It keeps their attention, it keeps them engaged.
And we want it's a tool to take with them, right? So if they can be singing that song, any of the songs, right, as they're remembering the planets of the solar system, you know, we think it's something that they can use forever. You know, that's kind of the way we think about it anyway.
I bust out into song all day long. So
exactly.
What's your favorite song?
Which one do you sing?
Oh my gosh, it depends on the day, but I'm constantly like, I sing song everything. My kids are like, stop it. But we used to like take children's books and I would just like make up a tune and I would sing the book to them. So.
Yeah, exactly. You're fun. That's fun.